Whenever I can, I come to you with more and more installments on this series, building a 1-inch scale Santa Fe GP60M locomotive. But have you guys ever wondered and questioned, is this thing ever going to get finished? Trust me, after 6 years, I've been asking the same question. But is this just another video? Where are we at now? Let's talk about it. Coming up next on the War Bonds channel. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another video podcast here on the War Bonds channel. If you don't know me and you're unfamiliar with this channel, my name is Eric. I'm a locomotive engineer for a U.S. Class 1 railroad by profession, an avid model railroader, and just a lifelong rail enthusiast. Well, this is indeed video number 32 of my series, building a 1-inch scale Santa Fe GP60M locomotive. Now, every video that I've made has been unique in some way or another, but even though I don't have the cute little co-host with me this time, but she definitely adds a lot of flair and flavor to the video. Oh no.
What's up, YouTube? Tube. Ow. Tube! I almost fell.
That was my foot.
Well, that's too bad. Let me use that. What's up, YouTube?
Why do you have crutches?
Because that deer didn't have insurance to fully get my leg fixed. And I broke my ankle.
However, because I'm back by myself, what's going to make this video any different than the others? Well, we're going to start seeing some things come together. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in the intro here because there's going to be a lot of things that speak for themselves. I'll still do my share of talking later on in the video, but I'm not going to keep you in too much suspense, so let's get to it and see what we've got. Okay, so we finally have the stand cleaned off, and the only thing that's on the stand now, just on the bottom here, are just other parts that will eventually go in the locomotive. So we're looking at the plates that are going to go in the cab, and these are actually counterweights. So the 3 plates there actually equal 60 pounds. And why do I need all that? Well, because the batteries that are under the long hood, there's 4 of them, they're 25 pounds apiece. So there's 100 pounds right there. So all that weight's kind of pressing down, which is raising the nose up a little bit. So these are counterweights to basically level everything back out so that our coupler height is also in regulation as well. So we're going to be working with those later. So we have an empty stand. So I think we need to start putting a locomotive back together upon here and just start seeing where things go.
Chasing your direction, I was telling you no lies, and I was loving you. When the words are said, baby, I lose my head. And in a world of people, there's only you and I. There ain't nothing come between us in the end. I can hold you when you ain't even mine. Only you
finally, the frame is together. And after some frustration and a few choice words, it is back together. But it is together for the first time actually painted. Now, one of the things that I talked about way back when, I can't remember the exact video number, but I talked about wanting to have this locomotive represent caps, journal caps, on the trucks that actually turn. And I had mentioned that one of the things that I think that I could do in order to represent the bolt detail is to actually make a vinyl representation. So what I actually did was took a copper coupler that I think I picked up at Lowe's or something like that, and cut it down, and I got a 3/8 inch hole cover, and I'll show you the bare materials that I used. Okay, so these are the parts that I used. So this was a little copper, 1/2 inch copper connector that I used. And then I use this hole plug here. It's a metal hole plug. So I just put it in like that, and that's exactly what you see there. So it goes over the axle hub, and I, of course, painted it and put the vinyl detail on there to represent the bolt pattern. So I only needed to make 3 of these because there's either struts or speed recorder. So obviously nothing on this side, but on the other side I have one, and then I have one on this side and one on the other side. So after cutting all that stuff down, I actually glued it to the axle ends. Now, for now it's okay. I think that they'll pop off easily enough if they need to come off. But I painted them and then put the detail of the bolt detail that I made out of vinyl off of the Cricut machine. So I want to show you this little demonstration that it actually represents journal caps that actually turn. So I'm pretty excited about that. It was one of those things that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do or not, but I was successful, and I'm really happy about that. Now, these trucks were previously painted, so how come I have bare brass showing? Well, I had a little oopsie in the house a few days ago where I had a little wood stand sitting on my sawhorses, and it was unbalanced, and I picked up one of the trucks while the other truck was on kind of the other end, unbalanced, and kind of like a teeter-totter. Well, the weight of that truck sent it to the floor. Thank God the truck's still, the motors are still working and everything is okay, but I broke off some details, so I had to re-glue and in a couple cases refabricate some new parts. But all that stuff will get touched up. And then here we also see where I actually put some rods in there to be able to hold up the motors. So that needs to be touched up as well. But anyway, the frame is together, and I'm excited to be able to show you some of this detail here and how its functionality. So I don't think that I mentioned too much about it before, but this system is called ride trains. And, you know, when it comes to a lot of the electronics that, especially even some of the 1.5-inch locomotives have, they get pretty complicated. And my friend Charles in Texas actually is a dealer for iTrain, so that's how I came about using the system, and it's very user friendly. So he actually designed the bank here, yeah, which all the electronics are mounted to, and he also mounted everything and wired it up. So to say that I know this system inside and out, I do not. So everything I have learned has been by Charles actually having been here last year, and or maybe it was a year before, but he showed me, and I actually took video of what he was doing so that I knew what to do. And so I know the few basic things about being able to unhook things so that I could paint the locomotive and work on it and all that kind of stuff. So now comes the part of putting it back together. Okay, so the next thing I have here is some tin. Couple very thin pieces of tin. And what are they for? Well, when I took the locomotive apart to get it ready for the painting process, I noticed that there was actually a little bit of rust on the frame and on the deck, and like, what's going on here? Well, it turns out that one of my batteries had a small leak, and I mean, it wasn't really anything that bad, but it was just enough that some of that acid got out and got onto the frame and made a little rust. So my friend Gary and I were talking about that, and he said, well, why don't you go to like Menards or Home Depot and you can find this tin. I forgot exactly what it's called, but I was able to find it anyway, and in the kind of the garden area. And so I cut a couple pieces down. So what I'm going to do is use some spray adhesive to basically put them down so the batteries sit on them. So if they do leak, it's no big deal, but I am protecting my frame. So I'm just going to take some spray adhesive and we'll stick them both on there before we install the batteries. I should have some gloves on, but I'm going to be paying for this to get it off my fingers. Okay, so now that I have the electronics bank in, I know about where to put this. Oh, come on, baby. And of course, I'm not worried about painting it because it's going to be, underneath. So there's nothing that has to be pretty about it. It just has to be functional. Okay. Okay, and here are the second pair of battery here. Well, for the first time in months, we're going to plug in the controller here. Okay, so we have the batteries hooked up here. So to give you a little bit of an explanation, because I actually understand it now, as opposed to the very first time that my friend Charles was here and showing me how to do things. So we have two batteries here, and of course we have two batteries over here. Each battery is 12 volts. So we actually have a jumper wire between the positive and the negative on these two batteries, because that syncs them up together to make 24 volts. And that's what we need to actually operate the locomotive. So we've got that, and then we've also got a positive and a negative wire to power the traction motors on the locomotive. Now, these traction motors are 24 volts. Now, of course, I've got a second set of batteries here, but the reason I have the second set is actually for two reasons. Because number one, it adds weight to the locomotive, so it adds another 50 pounds, and we definitely want tractive effort because this locomotive is going to be pulling people. So you want as much weight for the best traction effort. Also, if I'm running, and let's say there's a meet where we're running all day long, well, eventually I'm going to drain these batteries, and then I have a second set of batteries that I can go to. So those are the two reasons that I have the 4 batteries in this locomotive. But anyway, I'm going to take a look here. I need to plug in a couple more things here, and then we'll fire it up and see what happens. Okay, so I've got everything together here. I've got the amp installed. The speakers are connected to it. I have the auxiliary cord hooked to it to output to the speakers, and I have the power cord that I had to modify connected. So I think we got everything here. So let's fire this thing up and see what happens. up here, I can hit, well, actually, one of the things I need to do is actually turn the locomotive on. So, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the scan button here. Okay, now it shows ATSF 117, which I gotta change that because that was supposed to be the original number of the locomotive. However, being it's 123, I'll change that. But for the sake of the demonstration, you know, we'll just go with 117. So then I'll hit standard. Okay, now it's loading up here. Okay, so now I'll go and hit the little gear, and that gives me the settings. So let's go to general settings. Okay, so actually, local nickname, let's change that right now. So I can change it to, oops, 123. Okay. And then loco sort name, we'll just call this GP60M. Okay, so now some of this other stuff I'm not actually going to mess with because that's more technical stuff that really doesn't need to be changed. Okay, so now we can go to sound settings. Okay, master volume. Okay, so, okay, I can turn it down. I can turn it way up. Okay, but just for the sake of this demonstration, we're gonna turn it down a little bit here, but then, so that's master volume. Okay, then we can go to main sounds. Okay, then the prime mover. I can change that, change the volume of that, reverb, pitch, engine noise. So we got the horn there, the K3, Nathan K3LA, or we can actually change it to anything else that we want to, but for the sake of a GP60M, we have the Nathan K3LA, so we're going to keep that the way it is there. And then push the bell, we can change the volume of that if we need to. Okay, and then as far as everything else here, some of these things I'm not actually too worried about. Not actually going to be using those. Okay, so then we're going to go back and let's see, other sounds. Okay, so got dynamic brake, which, you know, for a model like this, I'm not really going to be using it because those things don't really, it's not as effective as, say, an HO scale model or something where you're incorporating that with DCC. You've actually got something in the controller that allows you to initiate those sounds. So we're just going to keep things the way they are. And yeah, so just for the sake of a small demonstration here, you know, it's great that I can do this because before I had to try to change the values on the controller, and that was almost next to impossible. Nonetheless, everything is really cool on it, and I'm just so happy that we're at this point here. So that's a little demonstration of the Lunami sound.
You know, even though I'm not Irish, I'm going to bring some Irish heritage to this project. We're going to bring George Gillian Red. Ah, yes. I think this is the time to celebrate.
So anyway, I have 4 long screws here, and okay. We're going to knock off the dust on these plates here. Okay. There's plate number 1. Now, I don't know if you can quite see it, but the trucks are not, the springs anyway, are not really compressed. At least very well. But they will be once I get all the plates here. So that's plate number 1. Okay. We're going to take, these things have been sitting in the garage all winter, so they're a little, there we go. Now, I don't know if you could see it in the video there. I could certainly feel it bounce when I let go of it, but I'd rather feel it bounce than to feel it on my fingers. That would not be good. Okay, there's plate number 2. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to flip this one over. Woo! Because it looks cleaner on that side, but then again, it's the cab floor of a locomotive, so it's going to get dirty no matter what. But we're going to take, take the screws here. There we go. I felt that one went all the way through. Okay, I seized the light. All right. Of course, sometimes with the way things were going with this project, yeah, I see the light. Oh, yeah, that's a train at the end of the tunnel that's about to run me over. All right, so there we go. So all 4 screws are in here, and we're going to get the drill and get everything taken care of here. Well, I've had to switch over to the iPad because I killed my iPhone. So I'm just going to show you here, I'm going to actually give some permanent attachment of the fans, but I'm not going to put them on there too tightly, because if I do need to get them off at some point, I do want to have that opportunity to do so. But I think we've done enough on this project here that me starting to get some of these things permanently mounted is of importance now. Oh. I think I pulled that one off or tugged on that one a little bit too soon. And let me put a little bit more. Let's see. That's badass, man. Oh my goodness. April of 2020, when I was introduced to my friend Will, and thanks to another gentleman named Mike from Spring Creek Model Trains in Deshler, Nebraska, first time we met, I just showed him a few pictures of some cars I've built, and I said, you know, I'd like to have a locomotive someday, but I just don't know how to begin doing it. I just don't have an idea. You know, a lot of guys use steel, but I have no metal skills whatsoever. You know what? I think I know a guy. There's a guy I went to school with. Let me talk to him. He might be able to help you out. And April of 2020, we had our meeting, and well, this is May of 2026, and the impossible is here. I'm looking at it. You're looking at it. It is right here. This is unbelievable. And I am just thoroughly excited, but now there's still plenty of work that needs to be done in the next several days, because I would love to debut this at the train club in Goner, Nebraska, the Chippewa Northwestern Railway that I belong to. I think this is just too cool, and I am so glad that I get to share this with you guys. 8 to 10 people that have helped with this, and it really, if we want to get technical about it, I mean, there's probably more than that, because people have given me ideas on things. And maybe they didn't have a direct hand in it, but they gave me an idea. Hey, let me try this. And there's still probably 1 or 2 people that will be helping me to do things, because one of the things that still needs to be done is putting lights in it. And I have some ideas, but I have to figure out how to run the wiring and what kind of bulbs I'm going to use and things like that. So we're actually getting pretty close to that, but this is where we're at so far with it. So I'm just hoping that everything comes the way I need it to go, and we're just going to keep plugging away at this. Now, the dynamic brake section still needs to be done, and in fact, that's something that I might actually end up doing, working on here later on, as this video is coming to a close, because all of this footage I have actually been doing in one day, which is highly unusual, especially after I mentioned in video number 31 how it took me a while to get the enthusiasm to get back into this. But you're only looking at this side of the locomotive because I haven't striped the other side yet. And even with the striping, there's a few little imperfections that I need to take care of, such as a little bit of trimming that I need to do on the cigar band where there's yellow kind of coming under the black whiskers there, but no big deal. You know, we'll get it done, and I'm just excited because now that I've gotten this far with it, there's more that I can do. I'm more enthusiastic about getting more done. One of the things that I had done and haven't actually shown, but you know what, actually, I said this video is probably going to be a little bit longer, but I'm just going to show you real quick what I did to drill the holes into the anti-climbers so that you have an idea, because it's something I've done. You've probably seen it, but how did I do it? So let's take a moment here and I'll show you what I did. Okay, so this is finally on, clamped on, and it's nice and secure here. So we're just going to start drilling a hole. All right, excellent. Good looking holes here. And we'll just do the same for the other side. Okay, so now that you've seen that, I hope that you have a better understanding of how I've been doing things here. So now that you've seen how I drilled the holes in the anti-climbers, one of the things that I'm going to be doing is taking some small brass rod and soldering it to the backside of the stanchions that will go on top of the anti-climber. So once I do that, that at least gives me some way to mount them so that it's a little bit stronger than just trying to glue them directly onto the anti-climber, which is not going to hold very well, and it's going to get quite messy. So hopefully what I'm doing is going to work out the way that I'm hoping it will. I still have yet to get the speed recorder attached, so I'm going to be working on that. I would love to put sanding hoses on this thing, but that would require trying to scratch build some brackets that would bring the hoses back and over so that they're pointed into the wheel tread there. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to do that. I think it would be really cool. I just don't know. One of the other things is the walkway tread, the original walkway tread that was on there. I pulled it off because I didn't like it and it was getting damaged as I was moving the locomotive around and still working on it. So I pulled it off. And then I said, well, do I really want to put it on there or not? And the more I just keep thinking about it, it's like, yeah, it's probably going to go on there. And that's one of the other things I'm dreading, having to cut that out and stuff. But at least once that part of it's done, it's easy. But it's just one of those things that you could say that, well, how many people are really going to notice it? But I'm going to notice it. And you know, I was told a long time ago that sometimes if you want to take shortcuts and you say, nah, I'm not going to do this, and then you don't do it, later on you're going to think, why didn't I do that? I could have taken a little extra time to do that. Basically, case in point, doing the rotating journal caps. I wanted to do that, but how am I going to do it? I don't know. And it wasn't until up until a few days ago that I finally figured out exactly how I was going to do it. And so, you know, it's been a lot of trial and error over the last 6 years, but this is really cool. And we're going to end video 32 for now, but I think we've made a lot of progress here. Anyway, I hope that you've been enjoying this journey that's going to be coming to a close here shortly as far as the construction of this. Now, that's just, as my daughter said in the last video, like, this isn't the end of the channel. I'm going to be showing more and more footage of this locomotive actually running. Because after all, you guys have spent, well, I mean, since I got the locomotive and started the videos, it's been 3 years. And you guys have been seeing building this and building that, painting this and lettering that, and doing this and doing that. Well, you know what? We're all going to start having some fun here and watching this bad girl run in Santa Fe paint. Not just in primer, in Santa Fe paint. She's going to look good. So I really appreciate you guys. This is just exciting because even though at the moment I'm sitting here talking in front of a camera by myself, but I know that when this video is posted, you guys are watching. And you guys are giving me encouragement. And you know what? Even the haters that want to criticize me, well, you know what? You encourage me too. Because that just makes me want to keep doing more and watching the progress of this thing take place. But anyway, we're going to end video 32 here for now. But stay tuned for video 33 where we do even more and she starts looking really good. Thanks for watching. And as I always say, keep the shiny side up. And as the late, great Walter Cronkite would say, that's the way it is.